And welcome to my YouTube channel, Hireable Coder. And in this video, I'm going to discuss and explain what is the concept of path environment variable in operating system and why it is important for all of us to understand the concept of path. As a developer, be it in JavaScript or Java, Python or Golang or any other language, we really need to understand what the path environment variable is and what does it signify. So it's basically an environment variable of the operating system present in Unix, Mac, Windows, which is DOS, every operating system. And basically the path environment variable contains a list of folders which is separated by a delimiter. In Unix or Mac, the delimiter is often colon, and in Windows, the delimiter is semicolon. So whenever we are trying to execute any command in the operating system, any program in the operating system, say for example, I issue the command mkdir or cd or any command, what the operating system does is it tries to find out the command from within the folders listed in the path environment variable. So that is why typically we'll see that in Windows, the folder which contains the Windows operating system commands are there always within the path. Similarly for Unix or Mac OS, the folder which normally contains the OS commands like user local bin, that is in path. So here I have shown some path examples from a Windows system and then from a Mac system. And as you can see in Windows, the path contains folders which are segregated by semicolon, and in Unix or in Mac, the path contains folders which are segregated by colon. So that's the basic concept of path. Path basically contains a list of folders segregated by a delimiter, and the OS basically tries to find out any command from within the path. And if it cannot find the command in any of the folders or their subfolders, then it declares that the command does not exist and it cannot execute it. One more thing, I have also given a link to my blog on the same topic. So I would suggest that you can also go through the blog. Maybe if you give a read to the blog and then come back to this video, maybe then it will be mutually complementary. So the next point is, why do we want to modify the path? And how do we first verify what the path is? Or rather what the path contains. So if we do an echo if we do a echo $path in Unix or echo %path% in Windows, then we should be able to find out what is the content of the path. Now, why do we still need to modify the path? Because often we want to run some new executables or different versions of the same executable. Then one technique may be to actually alter the path at least temporarily. So what we can do is we can write a script which can be a shell script in a Unix-like system or can be a batch file in a Windows-like system. And in that shell script of that batch file, we can alter the path temporarily. I will show it in a demo so that it is going to be very clear to you. Now, there is another concept, interestingly, that is known as ClassPath, and that is very similar to path but in the Java world. So just like our OS tries to find out any command or any program name that we type from within the list of folders mentioned in the path, similarly, whenever we are trying to execute a Java program, Java whatever X, then the JVM tries to find out the location of the class from the class path. So just like the path environment variable contains a list of folders, similarly, class path also contains a list of folders or some jar or zip file from where the JVM can look up for the class it wants to run. So again, just as a reminder, I have also given the link to my blog post there, and I think if you go through the writing in blog post and then come back to this video and see the demo, I think it should be mutually complementary. So I think you got a basic understanding of path and class path. Now let us go and see the demo, which I think will help you even better to understand the concept of path and class path. So we are going to see how we can actually modify the path in a shell, because normally we do not want to modify the path for the entire system. We want to modify the path temporarily for a shell. So I'm going to try to execute a command java minus version to find out what is the Java. So I see that Java is not installed in the system because I have not set Java explicitly in the path. Now I will open a file where I have set Java explicitly in the path. So if you look at this file, this is the way in which we can set. First, I'm setting one variable. This is also an environment variable, Java home and then Maven home. And then I'm setting the path and I am prepending Java home / bin, the bin folder under this JDK content / home, and then the Maven home / bin before the path. What it means is then the path environment variable will also contain the bin folder of JDK and the bin folder of Maven before the original path. So then the operating system will always be able to find out the Java binary or the JavaC binary or the Maven binary, because they are within the bin folder of Java home and bin folder of Maven home. So let us run this script. And now let me run Java version. Now I get Java version to be 22 because now the shell can access Java, because now the operating system can find out the Java binary from within the path because I have put it in front of the path. So the path consists of a list of folders segregated by colon in Unix. So that is why this is the first folder in the path, then this is the second folder in the path, followed by the folders which are already there in the system path. So now if I do a echo $path, I should be able to see this is first there in the path, followed by the Apache Maven bin folder. So that is why our when I execute the command Java version, it is able to find out Java. Now let me change that. I have two different versions of Java. So now I will set this version of Java in the path and rerun that. So first I will again run the script so that it again modifies the path environment variable. And then if I do a Java minus version, now the other Java gets listed because this is the other Java, this is the Oracle Graal VM Java, which is a different version of the Java. And this is listed because now I have this Java home / bin folder in front of the path. So I had commented the first line and uncommented the second line. So that is how we can actually modify the path temporarily in a shell in the operating system. Now let us go and see how the class path works. So say for example, the concept is very same. So say for example, I can execute the program, say for example, array example. So I can execute this program from here. Okay, again, I need to run that Java. Sorry, I need to, because Java is again not in the path, because I have closed that shell and I opened a new shell and it got the default path of the operating system, which does not contain Java. In order to reinstate Java in the front of the path environment variable, I will have to run the script again. So I will run the script again. And now if I do a Java, so it lists that. But if I say, for example, go to a folder higher than that, and if I run the same command, it will not be able to find it. But I can still do a Java minus CP, which means I'm telling Java, CP is class path, that find out the class file from this folder, which I now mention. I mentioned the folder name as basics. So I'm telling Java to find out, to treat the basics folder as its class path. So then it will be able to find out and run the program. For your patient listening, I hope it was useful, but I would also suggest, and once again, to go to my blog post and read that, and then come back and maybe watch the video again, because that might be more beneficial. And if you like my video and if you like my explanation, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like this video, because that's going to motivate me. Thank you once again.